Hey, Gearheads. Hey, Tar Heel State Hangers. This is Pickl, and welcome to the Thursday night edition of Hanging with Pickl and Mike. I just want to get a few things out of the way before we get this party started. It seems like this is the COVID-19 chat of the summer. I'm getting over a stomach bug, so if I happen to exit stage left, stage right quickly, just y'all carry on with the shenanigans without me. I promise I'll be back. We're going to leave John Rammel in charge. I can't leave. That brings me to my second point. I can't leave Mike in charge because, well, those of you that know Mike know you don't want to leave him in charge of a whole lot of anything. But something happened to his phone, Facebook account, or something last night, and all of a sudden he's literally fallen off the face of the planet. So I haven't talked to him today. Send him an email, a couple emails, send him some text messages. Wherever he's at, I wish him the best. And if he's out there listening and needs to call, he knows how to call. He knows what to say. So to top that off, we've got get with our guest tonight. I'd like to welcome Dan Mcneil with Mcn Hammocks to the show tonight. He's one of the up and coming newer vendors on the scene, and let's just bring him onto the show and we'll get right into it. Dan, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So, whatever happens. Let everybody know that I'm just still getting over a little bit of a stomach bug, and Mike's off in Oz or something, and I've been on the road for these episodes, mostly been up in the Ohio area unveiling products on this, but this is the first time. You're my first guest that's out on location, by the way it looks. Now, are you just sitting in the truck in your driveway, or,
had to get away from the wife and come out here.
Yeah, I would call that a man cave by any sense of the matter.
Yeah. Nah, I'm up in northern part of Illinois, heading up to Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah, but my doghouse, if I get sent to the doghouse, I got a refrigerator, I got microwave, bed, TV. I got everything I need. So
yeah, no,
it's a comfortable doghouse.
Mine's a hammock in the backyard or something, or whatever my German Shepherd's barking at. My in-laws have showed up, so this could be interesting. We could have in-house guests tonight. So while I'm figuring out what's going on there, let's see who's hanging out in the chat with us. We'll start from the beginning. G was first at 6:30. Man, if you're hanging out here for a half hour just to listen to me run my mouth, we need to find you and Gun Loving Grandpa some more hobbies. But guys, honestly, thanks for showing up. Thanks for your continued patronage. I greatly appreciate it. And I know the team here at Gear Report greatly appreciates it. John Rammel, Trailheads, showing up. Miss Pixley's here, and she says she is under the weather, so don't expect any fun Christie tonight. Some conversation about how Miss Pixley can get back on top of the weather. I think she just needs to take a couple shots of tequila and call it a party and party on. Let's see. Oceana Sanchez. I hope I pronounced that right. Welcome to the show, first time listener. This is a somewhat professional gig that we get going on. We just kind of hang out and chit chat about all things hammock considered. So if you got any questions, Please just go ahead and throw them out in the chat. Anne Marie with Autumn Ultralights in here. Welcome, Anne. Thanks for coming up again. Let's see. J3 Hikes calling in from Tucson, Arizona. Welcome, sir. Miss Ilara, which I just happen to know means Karen Rammel, John's better and straighter sewing half, has joined the party. And my best friend from my entire lifetime, Miss Jennifer Craig, is here as well. Welcome, everybody. I present to you Dan Mcneil from Mcn Hammocks. Dan, tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
First of all, hey John and Autumn, appreciate you coming on here. So I've been camping all my life. Just got into hammocks about 3 years ago, I guess. Started camping when I was 9. We lived out in the country, and me and my brothers spent all the time out in the woods, so camping pretty much every weekend and all summer. And I did that most of my life. A couple of years ago, I had a lot of problems with my neck. My wife had a couple of back surgeries, and we got to the point where we were facing having to give up camping because we just couldn't handle laying on the ground anymore. And about 3 years ago, I found hammocks and changed everything. Got able to get back out there now, and that was right about the time I was starting to learn how to sew, and so it kind of both things kind of went together.
So did you go straight from ground to DIY, or did you?
So what I did, there's this guy Trip Smith. He's got a YouTube channel. He does a lot of kayaking and camping and stuff. And I was watching his videos for the kayaking because I do a lot of that. And then I was kind of interested in the kayaking. I mean, the camping thing. Started doing a little bit more researching on the hammock thing, and I started to see that a lot of people that did have back problems and stuff were sleeping in hammocks pretty easily. And so I was going to go to his event called Rockadoc, and I knew there's going to be a lot of people camping there with hammocks, and I could actually get my hands on some of them and ask a lot of questions. So I bought a Walmart 9-foot hammock, made a ridge line out of 550 cord, the 83% of the length of the hammock and everything. And I knew it wasn't going to be comfortable as 11-foot, but I always sleep on my stomach in bed, so I was wanting to see if I could even sleep on my back. Made it through the night. It was pretty comfortable. I had one heck of a shoulder squeeze from the fabric pushing on my shoulder. It hurt all day, but I was happy that I could. Hammocks was something I could work out.
I can handle shoulder problems. It's not the back.
Yeah. So yeah, a couple months later, we were down there at Rockadoc. A lot of people in hammocks. Everybody was eager to help and give advice. Most of the people there had extra hammocks, and hey, you want to try one? I got an extra one for you. So that was a real turn on to the hammock world for me. Was just the people, just so friendly and so eager to help and everything. So
this community is either very gracious or very much so at your throat. There's not a whole lot of in between, especially with this summer. So
yeah, and so yeah, we got done with that vacation, and my wife and I both ordered a hammock, and normally in our bed, and we got a nice bed, but we're usually up about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because we just can't lay down anymore. That first night in the hammocks, we set up some turtle dog stands in our garage. Our dogs were in the house sleeping in our bed, and we were out there, and we slept. We were still in them at 10:30 the next morning. It was a life changer. Having something where you could actually lay down and be comfortable. And so, yeah.
I can't honestly say I've ever experienced that in a hammock. That whole go to bed at 8 o'clock, wake up 10 o'clock the next morning and not moved all night long. I can't do it. I sleep great. I sleep restful. And the moment daylight cracks the cracks the tarp. My eyes are wide open. Let's get this day started. I think the latest I've
Yeah,
ever slept is like an hour past sunrise.
yeah, we do that when we're camping. But that night, it's the first time in years we were able to actually lay down for that long, and I think we got up once to let the dogs out in the garage with us and left the back door open so they could run in and out. But other than that, just enjoying actually being able to sleep in a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Just need to make a little comment on the chat that's going on the side. That Christy's been sick all day. I'm sick, migraine, nausea, no tequila, but I do have vodka, so I think she might be feeling a bit better.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I can't see the chat. So if anybody says anything, I can't see.
Yeah,
it,
no,
so.
I'm monitoring the chat. I'm monitoring the random Facebook messages that I keep getting all over the place, and yeah, so we'll get there. And folks, I don't have Mike monitoring the chat with me as well tonight. So if anybody comes up with anything, please, if I miss you, please shoot it back up there. Let's see. No, pretty much everybody's just saying hi to everybody and trying to get Christy drunk. So we're about normal for 7:15 on a Thursday night.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Dan, what drew you to becoming a vendor? At what point why'd you make that leap that I know so many people relish and so many people curse of?
So yeah, so I've always been interested in owning a small business, and so shortly before I got into hammocks and everything, all my life we've if it's with metal or wood or whatever, I have the skills to build it, repair it, fix it, whatever. And so you go and buy something, and you can't find exactly what you want. So we either just build it or buy it and then modify it and make it the way we want it. And but all those years of using tents and sleeping bags and the backpacks and the clothing and everything, you always just had to buy whatever they sold, and using it all that time, I knew the way I use the gear and the things I like. Man, I really like this, but I wish there was a pocket here, or I wish this was here, or that was there. But I had no ability to modify any of that stuff.
Gotcha.
So a couple years ago, I decided to learn how to sew so I could start making my own gear. And then probably a little less than a year after I started making my own gears, I got into the hammocks, and then I quickly realized that a basic hammock, hemming the sides and putting a 2-inch channel on each end and stuff is pretty easy to sew. And then so I just started working on that. I made several different hammocks, and just trying things, doing different things, getting the skills down right and everything, and it just went for, and then so then I just opened up the opportunity for the business. When I started the business, I mainly concentrated on doing just only custom work. And because I knew there's a lot of other people out there like me that know what gear they want and know how they want it, but they can't always find it that way. So that's what I mainly concentrated on the first year, and that's kind of my passion, is to be able to provide, custom stuff for people.
Okay, make those dreams come true.
Yeah, and whether it's custom colors or different certain way they want it done. I think the oddest thing I've made so far, from the guy that camps with a pigeon, I ended up making him a cage. I made him a hammock and a bug net and all that stuff too, but I made a cage for the hammock. I mean, for the pigeon
For the pigeon.
to hang out on the ridgeline.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Worked out really good. He's been happy with it and everything. And the guy, so me and him were chatting back and forth, and he was kind of giving me an idea of what he wanted and everything. And I called my wife and I said, hey, I'm going to be making this hammock cage, you know. And she said, well, how are you going to do that? And I said, I don't know. You know, I'm not, I got a rough idea in my head. I got a kind of a concept, and she said, but you told the guy you could make it. And I said, yeah. And she said, are you sure? And I said, yeah, I can figure it out, you know. And but it's really cool to be able to, you know, somebody's got this idea in their head, and for me to be able to take a pile of fabric and create that, you know, that's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, and it's a cool feeling for the person with the idea to see that idea that they could not do themselves come to life. I've got a tarp that I conspired with a vendor. I'm gonna say, I'm just throw it out there. It's John here in the chat that we've been conspiring on since, I don't know, probably about the first week of February, that they finally got to me. Yeah, folks, I wait in line just like everybody else, and finally got it shipped out. So, do you have any pics of the bird cage on your site, or is it on the Facebook page? Christy wants to see it.
I know I posted some on Instagram, and I think I posted some on my Facebook page.
All right, let me see if
there's pictures of him in there.
Instagram up.
And yeah, so I like the challenge of it, and yeah, just being able to provide somebody with something that they can't do themselves, you know, that's pretty cool.
Let's see. How long ago was that? There it is. We'll just go ahead and share the screen. There's the bird cage.
Yeah, and down at the bottom of it, it's got a sill poly lining in it, so it's easy to clean out, and the entire bottom snaps out. It's all attached with cam snaps, so you could take out the bottom of it and clean it really well. And the sides are made with monolite material, so it's pretty breathable. And I also made, I think there's pictures in there too. I also made a quilt for it to wrap it around for wintertime. I used that quilt with that PRYM material, that blue camouflage material.
Yeah, that's a big fan of camo for me. Big fan of the Prime 1 camo, the Prime 1 Mahi. And now the Prime 1 smoke has really started to grow on me. Just kind of rolling through.
I seen going back up again, I seen where his hammock was. I don't know if it's got a picture nearby there. Got to go up a little higher. It's right around the time I was making it. So I think up in the right-hand corner, I mean the bottom right corner, that's his hammock. I made that. He's got a monolite bug net cover. And I thought there might have been a picture of the quilt around that same area, but I don't see it.
Okay. Well, sir, you just picked up a new follower on Instagram.
Cool.
So.
Thanks, Christy.
Hey, Barry, welcome.
Yeah, we and we have a YouTube channel. What I try to do with a lot of the custom hammocks is once I get it made, I take a video of it and post it on YouTube. Let the person that ordered it get a chance to actually see it and make sure everything's the way they want it. And then once they give me the okay, then I mail it out to them. But it gives them that one last chance before I ship it out to double check everything and And I also along the way, I try to post pictures along the way so they can see it being built, you know. And a lot of people I've found really like that, you know, be able to see their process and see their stuff being made and everything.
It's a bit of a pain, coming from everything that I do media wise. Trust me, it's a bit of a pain to stop what you're doing, take a picture, make sure the picture's right, make sure the color's
Yeah.
right and everything. And Lord forbid we need to
Yep.
throw it into editing, just throw it onto Facebook for some poor schmuck like myself to look at it for 15, 20 seconds. Yeah,
Yep.
but it's that little bit, and it means something. And if you don't believe me, I got one last night, or I got one last week. It's probably a really bad picture, but
Yeah.
yeah, I got one from Miss Karen Rammel to where she sent me a picture of my prototype tarp being built. So it, from a vendor standpoint, yes, it's a pain. I know. And
Yeah.
I love y'all for it. But from a consumer standpoint, it's like, ooh, ooh, it's getting built. It's getting built.
Yeah.
I'm getting stuff. It's
Yep.
being
That's
born.
exactly.
And it really provides
Yep. And
those warm fuzzies.
speaking of
So
warm fuzzy, every time I see that
yeah,
table of John and Karen's, every time I see that table of John and Karen's, I get that warm fuzzy feeling too. One of these days I'm gonna have something like that.
hmm yeah. There's a lot of people that see that table and either get warm fuzzies or green envies. So
Yeah. I was gonna
yeah.
say a tingling in my groin, but I was trying to be.
Well, then there's that. Then there's that. Just scrolling through some of your pictures, especially this orange and gray one. This thing is it's just beautiful. I saw it when it came out, and I'm like, man, that's a heavy hammock, but boy, is it pretty.
Yeah. That thing does weigh a ton. You said the
Yeah,
orange one,
wait.
orange and gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
It's
see.
that
That
was
one.
a Yeah, that one. That was a challenging build because it's got a bug net that stores up in the head end,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's got a top cover that stores at the foot end, but they both use the same zipper system. You do one at a time, but all that stuff is on one set of zippers on the hammock. And
Oh wow.
there were some reasons I some reasons I did not want to. I did not want to make that hammock. There were some reasons, but the challenge of it. That's why I went ahead and took it. Decided to build it, but yeah, and a lot of people. I call it the Transformer Hammock. I normally name the different hammocks.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's asking a question about something, I can easily refer them to a video. That's
Right.
why I
Yeah.
name them.
Yeah.
I call that one a I call that one the Transformer Hammock. And I noticed watching the YouTube analytics that most people, when I first showed in the video, it's netless. And then
Mm-hmm.
I take the zippered bug net out of the stuff sack and bring that out. And that's usually about when, according to the analytics, most of the people stop watching it because they think it transformed from a netless to a
Right.
zippered bug net. But
Right.
they're missing the rest of it where I put that away and then bring out the top cover.
Okay. I must
Yeah.
have missed that video, and that's shame on me. So it's one. I don't even want to fathom or figure out how you pulled that one off to make that work.
It was
But
a challenge.
I promise you, I've not seen that before. To where I've seen them run on separate channels together. We've all heard of Dutch's party with
Yeah.
removable zippered bug nets, and that's become a pretty standard hurdle to get around in this day of the hammock
Yeah.
industry. But I've never heard of one using both attaching on the same zipper. So,
Yeah, and the reason I didn't want to make it is he was wanting what he called a quilt bag. Um, so I like Dutch's sidecar,
hmm
and on my personal hammock, the hammock I use the most, I built my version of a sidecar. At the top, it's shaped a little bit different, and it's attached to my hammock with cam snaps because I don't have a zippered
okay.
bug net or anything. So I can take it off if I don't want to use it, or I can use it. But as I was building mine, I was trying to get away from Dutch's design, so it wouldn't be, oh, he copied Dutch's stuff, you know. But that tapered shape, because I don't use a top quilt, I use a sleeping bag, and I keep my sleeping bag in there down at my
hmm
foot end, and I get all comfortable in the hammock, and I just reach up there, grab that, and pull the bag over the top of me. And that tapered shape, if you make it square or any other shape, the bag wants to kind of snag and won't pull out and
hmm
everything, but that tapered shape just works perfect. So when I was talking to this guy about that Transformer hammock, and he wanted something along that lines, but integrated with the bug net
hmm
and with the top cover, I was really hesitant to do it because, and I did get one comment, oh, you build a chameleon, you know,
Yeah.
and that was my real hesitation to build that because, oh, here comes somebody building, you know, Dutch's stuff, and
Eh,
I almost didn't do it.
You know, it's probably, in my opinion, it's the most popular feature on one of the most well-known hammocks on the market.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm not just saying that because Dutch is a friend. I'm not saying that because I was hanging out with Alex last weekend or 2 weekends ago. You see that sidecar popping out. Instantly, I start looking for D rings kicking on the outside and quilt hooks on the outside. And it's a very recognizable feature
yeah,
in the hammock industry. So,
yeah,
you see that, and yeah, you may get a comment or two. Hey, but if you can intelligently say, it's an homage, it solves the same problem. My cut's different. I'm attached different. Then you should be fine.
yeah. Yeah, and I tried changing the shape of it, but the more I tried changing the shape, the more it turned into a war bonnet shelf. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, there's only, and I kind of talk about this at the end of that Transformer video, to hang a bag off of a hammock to put a quilt or something. There's only so many ways you could do it, you know.
Yep.
And I did on mine. A lot of people with the I can't think of the name of that thing, the sidecar.
hmm
They talk about it being too deep when they put smaller stuff in there. So along the top on mine, I put 3 pockets in there. So if you got
Okay.
smaller items, you know, a book or glasses or something, you can
Gotcha.
put them right in those little pockets, and they
Okay.
don't fall all the way down. Um, but yeah, for that reason, I almost didn't make it. But the challenge of, you know, the top cover and the bug net were both going to be permanently attached. They weren't removable. They each had their own stuff stack at each end. And for all that stuff to use one set of zippers, the challenge of that, it was, that's why I went ahead and said, yeah, I want to
Okay.
make this, you know. And
That I mean, I'd love to see it in person. I really would. Just seeing how you figured out the zippers to do that. Just that that's got my mind at a twist right now. So
yeah, I, I I told the guy, I said, I don't know if I could do it. And I said, well, let me go get some zippers and mess with them. And I messed with them that afternoon, and I sent him a little video. I said, is this, you know, with just a set of zippers? I said, no, imagine the hammock's here and this is here. And I did it all with the zippers. And I said, is that what you're wanting for? And he said, that's it. That's exactly what. So, um, so he ordered the hammock and I made it. But, and I learned a lot doing that. And now I'm coming out with 3 hammocks that are going to be my standard hammocks I'm going to sell on the
okay.
site. And one of them's going to have a top cover, and it's going to be uh, like when building his top cover, to try to not make it look like Duchess, but to also to have ventilation. I was still running into problems. Like there's only so many ways you can do this. But yeah, I figured out a way that I can make my top cover that's going to be mine. You know, my design. I don't care if somebody else makes one similar if they like it, but
I want somebody to
it's
put
not
round.
me.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I just had an idea.
No, go for it.
I want to see somebody put round porthole covers in the top cover, like in a '70s conversion van.
Dang it! What's the chances of you guessing what I was going to do, man?
I'm useless like that. I'm completely useless. Okay, so we get to the first question of the evening. Christy's one of our newer hammock hangers, and someone explained top cover to me, not a tarp. So would you like to take that, Dan, since you are the guest of the evening? What's the difference? Why would you put a top cover on a hammock and not a tarp?
So the top cover is not really designed to keep you dry and everything. Even with a top cover, you really need to have a tarp, and because you want to make the top cover out of a pretty breathable material. One of the downsides of a top cover is it could trap a lot of condensation in there, and then your bag and everything gets wet. So it's really important to get the ventilation right of it. But the main purpose is it provides you a little extra warmth in the wintertime. It can trap in some of that heat. It can block a little bit of the wind. And also for people, especially women, if they're camping with a bunch of other people and want a little extra privacy, a lot of times the top cover can give you that too.
Yep.
So
I did some temperature testing one winter with my chameleon and my top cover on the chameleon. And night one with just the bug net, the interior of the hammock was 5 degrees warmer than the exterior of the hammock. I was using my Kestrel drop thermometer off the head continuous loop of the hammock, and my Suunto Traverse watch was hanging out on the ridgeline at my feet, not at my face, so that my breath was not affecting it. The interior temperature the next morning was 5 degrees warmer with the bug net. That next night, I swapped out the bug net for the winter cover. The interior that next night was 15 degrees warmer with the winter cover than with the bug net, and it rained all night. So I'm a sweaty man, and I don't sleep well with winter covers because it's rained on me, it snowed on me, it's probably even sleeted and hailed on me. So, Dennis, good evening from the great north. Welcome to the south. Dennis with Canoe Hound Adventures up there in the Canadas. One of our good red maple leaf friends coming to join us. Thank you, sir. Let's see. So, Christy, I hope that answers your question. Tarps are still going to be necessary, but the winter cover is going to give you a bit more privacy and a bit more warmth in the wintertime.
Yeah, and the trick of it is, and it's one of the most challenging parts for me to build one, is to getting that ventilation right, to get that right combination of having the ventilation to stop all the condensation, but still trapping the warmth in there and still blocking the wind. And to get that right combination, it's pretty tricky.
It is.
I got an idea that I...
Go ahead.
I got an idea that I think will work, and I'll be building a prototype here in the next couple of weeks, and then start testing it from there.
Yeah. Well, at least over there in Illinois, y'all get some winters. At least you get that winter temperature.
Yeah, Southern Illinois. There's a distinction there. I'm like 300 miles from Chicago, and that's a different country up there.
Yeah. Understand, but it's still a heck of a lot further north than down here in the Carolinas.
That's
People
true.
down here get 2 inches of snow twice a year, and they think it was a harsh winter.
Yeah.
Dennis over there is thinking, I need 2 feet at least for 6 months before I'm happy. But let's see. All right, so on this show, we've had some pretty big gaffes in the time we've been here. We've seen Mike jump in the creek or in his pond, and I've seen the snapping turtles in that pond. They aren't tiny. And I have seen. Oh, hang on. G had a question that I missed. Let me scroll back. At Pickl, what is the weight limit for Dan's hammock and the pockets that he was talking about? Are they big enough for a firearm? G is not a small man, so
the weight limit, if I remember right, it was Hyper D and two double layer Hyper D. Single layer Hyper D is 300 pounds. You or John or Autumn might know what the double layer is. I can't think of it. It raises it from 300 pounds a little bit. A double layer Hyper D.
What were they both? 1.6.
Yeah, 1.6 Hyper D.
That should bring it up to, if I'm not wrong, if I'm not mistaken, about 425 or close to 500 pounds. Again, G, man, any one of the vendors that I've had on this show can get you into a hammock if that's what you want. You can contact them through me. You can contact them directly, but I promise you, there's a hammock for every butt. I've camped with a gentleman down in South Carolina that he at one point was close to 700 pounds camping, outdoor hammock camping. He was a big boy. As for big enough for a firearm, dude, if we need to make you an AR sling for your ridgeline, we can make you an AR sling for your ridgeline.
Yeah, and if the pockets I built weren't big enough, and they are, unless you're carrying like a Desert Eagle or something, they were big enough. But if they aren't, we could always build them bigger. You know, it's no big deal.
That's what custom gear's for. So that's John
exactly
just said double layer 1.6 is 500. Amory followed it up between 400 and 450. So you're somewhere between 400 and 500 pounds for that. So AK-47, yeah, man. We can get you something for it. I'm sure
I'm actually working on. I'm actually working on something for rifles, especially with hunting season coming up and everything. Yep. I'm actually working on something for that.
There needs to be something for. I
got a couple of ideas. Whenever I get it built, I'm going to make a video showing it, seeing what people think about it. You know.
Well, I know guys that would be happy to test them out for you out in the woods on the hunt.
Yeah.
You give me the kind of game you want photographed in the picture with the review, and I'm pretty sure I could probably pull that off.
That'd be cool.
Let's see. So, what was your biggest hammock mistake?
I didn't make no mistakes, man.
While you're doing that, I'm going to let my German Shepherd in. So keep talking.
Okay. I haven't had too many mistakes. I've been lucky so far. I think the biggest issue I've had was with in the beginning when I first started out. Nothing would work. I couldn't get the ridge lines right. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. And people were saying, "Oh yeah, just do this, this, and this," and I do it, and it wouldn't. And it got it. If I knew if I couldn't get the hammock stuff right because of my problems with my neck and my wife's back, camping is done for us. So that gave me the determination to keep messing with it. And then one day everything just clicked, and from then on I can just walk up to a tree, throw the straps around it, hang it up. It's all good,
Yep.
you know. But that in the beginning, I never really had any serious problems yet. But the frustration in the beginning, you know, was kind of aggravating.
Okay. So hang on, I'm doing a little sidebar action. Anne-Marie just sent me the hammock comparison chart for rip stops, weight supports. So we will throw this up on the screen. Let's see, we'll get this zoomed in. So there's your, for us skinny people, 1.7 Mcn hybrid will hold up to 400 pounds. And then if you start doubling it up, 2.2 hex 70 outside and 1.9 on the inside, that gets you 1,600 or 600 pounds. And then the 1.7 Mcn doubled up gets you another 600 pounds. So, gee, man, I don't know how big you are, but I'm pretty sure we can get you covered.
And don't forget, Dutch has got the Hexon fabric, and you get up to like the 2.2 or 2.4.
Yep.
It holds a lot. And I was just watching a video you guys did with Dutch and Alex. I was just watching that the other day, and Dutch brought up the point about the fabric's not the problem, the suspension is, and especially when you start getting up around 350, 400 pounds. And I think it was the same guy that asked the question then too. I'm not sure, but yeah, if you go back to that video, you know, later, I don't remember the details about what Dutch was saying with the suspension, you know. But
yeah, if you want a quick link to all of the videos that I've done, or Mike and I have done with all of our guests and interviews, you can check that out on Gear-Report.com, Hangin with Pickl. And I've got a running article that's got every weekly show in it with a quick hyperlink to that show on YouTube. And we are also simul broadcasted / uploaded to Gunstreamer as well, for those of you that are looking for a firearms friendly video content location. And that gets us to our 742. Hey, y'all, click the like button, follow us, subscribe, ring the bell, hang out. I'm sorry I'm not my normal jolly old alcohol consuming self. The Stein mug is straight Coca-Cola, and the hydro flask is straight ice water. I'm just trying to get over a bug, and I'm with Pickl. I just really don't feel like any alcohol tonight, so please humor me and whatnot. So what was your best hang? Have you achieved that yet?
I can't remember the exact situation, but I remember I was so comfortable, and I don't know if it was the actual hang, the way the straps were, or the distance, or if it was just where I was positioned in the fabric. But I wanted my wife to come out there and do like that, you know, like when somebody's murdered and they draw that chalk line around them. I wanted her to do that on the fabric for me, so I can find that exact spot every time.
Where's that sweet spot?
Yeah. That was just perfect. I haven't found it yet again because she didn't draw the line, but
hey, that's another idea. Maybe we should start having Dutch pre-print the fabric to where the sweet spot is as a chalk line.
Yeah. Yeah. You just
Black
hop
black
right in
hammock
place.
with a little dotted chalk line. Okay, I got to get right here. Okay, my head's got to be a little bit right here, and I'm out. And there's a sweet spot, so that the
Yeah,
first time hammockers know exactly where the sweet spot is.
he does that with what tarp material. He'll have, like, if you're going to make a hex tarp, he's already got the lines on there. You just
Yep,
cut it out.
yep. All you
Yeah.
got to do is
So
cut
the
and
same
go.
kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will mention that to him next time I see him early in the morning. He decided to 5:45 yesterday morning. I get a message from him. It was pre-dawn. It was pre everybody waking up. I had mentioned on a post about a patriotic tarp that John was sending to one of my buddies, Joe, which very quickly turned into a let's have a political discussion, but not have a political discussion, but let's throw the political insults around by not throwing the political insults around, to the
Saw
tune of
that on Facebook.
113 messages in like 45 minutes. So, yeah, Dutch is sending me messages at dark 30 about pictures of me stirring pots on a tarp of something that I'm not going to discuss in here that goes against my beliefs in the pot, just to see if he can get me triggered at 5:30 in the morning. Let's see. For those of us that are in the know and are in the know, Carolina's backpacker, Rat Mama, and Kenny Ray are off of their 4-day Maroon Bells Loop hike. I am getting some pictures just coming in to the command center here. They all made it safely. They are back into civilization. So, Susan, welcome to the show tonight. Let's see. What you got coming up new? You said the three
What do I have?
hammocks.
Yeah. So we're going. Speaking of those, we're going down to that Rocket Dock event with Trip, and in the end of September, and I want to build the prototypes for them. Right now, there's over 200 people registered that are going to be camping and kayaking down there, and I checked about an hour ago, and there was 86 of them are going to be in hammocks. So my goal is to take the prototypes of those hammocks down there and have them on display, get a bunch of feedback from everybody, see if I need to tweak anything or whatever, and then start working on them. And I did, and then that's another thing. My website. If you go to my website, especially if you don't know much about hammocks, it is just confusing, frustrating, whatever. If you know what you're looking for and everything, you can get on. You pick out the fabrics and stuff you need, and then no problem. But for a new person, it's horrible. And
I think for most new people, it's a heck of a steep learning curve on any of these sites, because everybody's offering multiple colors, threads, cordage, words, whoopee slings, suspensions. It's a big undertaking.
And then for and on the upside of that, though, we're pretty much always available. You could message and send us a message through Facebook pretty much any time. I'm normally awake from 3 in the morning till 9 at night, pretty much 7 days a week. And so you can send us a message. The phone, on the website, it says it's 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. But if you send me a message and there's something it'd be easier to deal with on the phone, I'll turn the phone on or give you my cell phone number. And I mean, so we're definitely available 23.59 hours of the day. If you have any questions, and we're more than happy to help. And a matter of fact, especially if you're new or if you're ordering something custom, I would definitely prefer to talk to you anyway. That way we could work out all the fine little
Yep.
details and make sure you're getting exactly what you want.
Good deal.
So with building those three hammocks, one of them's going to be a netless, one of them's going to have a zippered bug net, and the other one's going to have a zippered bug net and top cover. So they'll be on the website so that somebody that doesn't really know a lot about hammocks and not really interested in getting a custom or whatever, they could just go on there. They could see exactly what it's going to be like and just click an order and get it on its way. Once I put those on the site, I'm going to clean up a lot of that fabric stuff and kind of put it all in one thing, trying to make the website more appealing,
a little bit more user friendly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that just want to go on and click 5 buttons and order a hammock and be done with it. Yeah. And then there's morons like me that hang out and tweak and twiddle and fiddle, and then I get a message from John, why are you on my website for the last 45 minutes and haven't bought anything? And so I'm that guy. If you have somebody from the North Carolina area just hanging out on your website all day, it's probably me.
I know what's going on. Yeah. And so we got about 9 or 10 months ago, I came up with these stuffed sack. Well, I started making these stuffed sacks. One I call the double-ended bishop bag, and these stuffed sacks are on our YouTube channel too, if you want to check them out. But it's a double-ended bishop bag. It's like a bishop bag, solid on one end with the hold for your continuous loop to come out, open on the other. But then it's got another kind of small bag sewn to the end of it, so you can keep your straps in there. That way you got a nice place in your hammock stuff sack to keep your straps. It's made out of silk poly, so if your straps are wet or got tree sap on them or something like that, it keeps your hammock clean. And the other one we made is called, I call it the buckle bag. And the bad thing with cinch buckles and stuff like that is a lot, you pretty much have to take the straps out of the buckles each time, and so with the buckle bag, it's designed for that. If you're using cinch buckles or Autumn's breeze buckles, any type of buckle, especially if you use a carabiner on the loop that goes around the tree and then clip the carabiner to it, you can keep all that stuff on each end of the bag. So you just open up the end, pull your strap out, wrap it around the tree, clip it in place, then go do the other end.
Nice. Nice.
I made those. Well, a year ago, I was showing some of the guys down there at Rockadock the double-ended bishop bag, and one of the guys said, "I really like it, but I wish." He said, "But I use straps and buckles, and if you make something for that, So that's when I came up with the double-ended bishop bag. I put 10 of them on the site. They sold within just a couple days, and I've been waiting. And I've been getting feedback from the people that own them and everything, and make sure everything's good. So now I'm at the point that I'm ready to start producing those and putting them on the site and everything. And that's one thing that's hard about a business like this, getting your gear. I'm 5'9" and 130 pounds. I'm not good at testing gear for most of the people out there. So getting good, reliable people that can test your gear before you go make 100 of them or 1,000 of them or whatever, you really, I want the product tested first. But it takes time,
It does. It does. Just from our standpoint at Gear Report, whether it's myself or it's one of the other camping riders, I make sure that if you send me a hammock, I'm going to have 5 nights in it. At least 5 nights in it.
Yeah.
And what ended up being one of the best hammocks I've slept in to this day is John's Wraith, and it took me 9 nights before I really got a good night's sleep in it. The first night in it, we had 50-mile-an-hour winds over the top on the ridge peak that we were sitting in. So they never hit the hammock, but you just laid at wake all night listening to waves of freight trains just screaming overhead. The second night I switched, my trees weren't long enough, so I didn't have a really proper hang because the hammock was almost touching the trees. The tarp was wrapped around the trees, so that just it was enough to get me by. Third night I didn't hang my foot end high enough, so now I'm sliding. What I will say is when I picked my 200-pound self up and spun around in the middle of the hammock in the middle of the night, went back to sleep, it didn't dump me on the ground. So I'd call that a testament to the weight of that to the strength of that monolight. But my first 3 nights of the 5-night hang in that hammock were all my fault for not having a bad night. It had nothing to do with the hammock. So you're going to get at least 5 nights. If something's not right or if something's different or awkward, we're going to contact you first to make sure it's not one of our faults for doing it wrong. If it turns out that there is a problem with it, I don't know. When you're measuring it out, you looked at the wrong side of the fabric that ripstop set you. Instead of making me an 11-foot hammock, you make me a 9.5-foot hammock. And I get, a hammock that, apparently somebody didn't know how to measure. I'm going to come to you first. I'm not going to write a complete review on this because it's not what you expected it to be, or something went wrong, or what do you want me to do? You want me to throw it in the trash, make stuff sacks, send it back? You tell me. And if you want that bad review, we'll write that bad review. But I'm sorry, if I've got to have 5 nights in a hammock, that's at least 2 weekend trips for me. And in some cases more. That's a lot of time out of my personal life to be in something that I don't like and I'm not happy with. So, in a lot of cases, those those bad reviews don't get done because I do this for fun. This is what I enjoy doing. I'm not making any money. I don't make a mint. I've looked at my YouTube ad revenue for this show for the last 16 episodes. We're up to $1.25 combined.
Holy cow.
Big money.
Retiring soon.
Big money gonna be retiring soon. So, a couple people sneaking in. What's going on, Todd? I apologize. I didn't see you sneak in. And Susan also came on in the door. Good evening, folks. Good evening. Thank you for joining me. We are at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. If you need to take a brief respite, refill a drink, find a water closet, or stretch your legs, please do so. Again, we're on with the Dan Mcneil from Mcn Hammocks. It's a little bit of a more subdued show tonight, and for that I apologize. I've been under the weather for the last day or so. We don't know where Mike's at. Mike might be in the land of Oz right now. Dan says he's in northern Illinois, but I think he's probably, somewhere glorious, or at least I'm thinking somewhere glorious. Desert Southwest, Colorado Rockies.
It's nice and sunny out there.
It's nice and sunny out there. It is pitch black here in the Carolinas, so, he might be out with G out on the West Coast. It's only about 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I got big fuel tanks on this truck. Hey, was that Todd from? I can't see I can't see the chat. Was that Todd from Parallel 43?
Yes, sir. That was Mr.
That came on earlier.
Madsen. Yes, sir. Yep.
Hey, Todd, man, I saw that those items you posted today. They're brown and black. Man, I'm really loving the colors of that. That stuff was pretty cool.
Yep. He's let me pull that up since we're talking about it and you brought it up. Todd was on the show a couple weeks ago, and it's a good looking little roll top bag and gear strap. Forget what he's calling it. But
dirt
his
bag or something like
stake,
that?
yeah, the dirt bag, I think, with his stake and strap accessories. Really cool twist and
Yeah,
twist on it.
Yeah, that color combination is pretty sexy. I like that.
Yes, sir. There he is. He said a good straight up thanks, man, for that.
You're welcome.
And it is called the dirt bag. Good call, because I was dropping the ball on my product knowledge. Shame on me.
Yeah. I've been ordering some of the stuff from some of the guys recently. I've had some breeze buckles from Autumn for a while, and I got Todd making those koozies for like the 12-ounce cans and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I asked him if he could make one with a lid for it, because you're out there in the summertime, you get a bee down in there and don't know it, and next thing you know, you get stung in the mouth. So yeah, he made me 3 of those koozies with the cover
Sweet.
for the lid and everything. Those are pretty sweet. And I got from John and Karen. John posted a picture of him sewing it, but it was probably Karen that actually did it. He was probably just moving something around on the machine. But one of his roll bags, you know, for the stakes and and straps and stuff
No,
like that.
I have seen John actually sewing those roll ups.
Yeah.
Yep, I have
cool.
physically seen him actually sew roll up. So
yeah, so normally if it's raining, I'm gonna put my tarp up before my hammock.
Mhm.
But if it's not, I'll get my hammock situated first, and then I can center my tarp on that. But I had seen his roll up for quite a while, and I got to thinking, you know, if I had one of those, I'd like to have when you open it up, a second set of snaps down a little bit below, so you could lay it over a ridge line and then snap it in place. And then that way, as I'm setting up my stakes and all that kind of stuff, I got easy access to them right there on the ridge line. And so I contacted John about that, asked him if he could do that, and then also if it's going to be hanging on my ridge line, have some bags on the back, some pockets on the back of it to use as a ridgeline organizer. So yeah, he made me a couple of them. Giving John a hard time.
Karen, that's okay. We all know who the driving force of the Trailhead's quality is, and it's all right.
Yeah.
As long as y'all keep doing your thing and making it work, we're going to keep giving John a hard time. He's going to keep cashing the checks, and we're all going to be happier in the woods. So I wanted to say that John's the Trailheads roll up was on my list of items you don't realize that you need, but you do need. And another one of those items on that list is what I picked up, and it took it a while. It's not a pricey item. It was only about $20, but it took it a while to come from Tel Aviv, Israel. But it is the Source Hydration tubing system. And what it is you've got a tube that will pull out. I said pull out. And then you could screw that into your smart water bottle, life water bottle, and they've got different attachments if you want to attach it to like an Nalgene or something. And then on the other end is I took it all off. Oh, come on. Is going to be your bite valve with a twist on off for the bite. If anybody knows me, I've got sensitive teeth, and it will work with my sensitive teeth, and it basically turns your smart water bottle into a water bladder. And for people like me that don't like to have the bladder in the pack. I've had it come disconnected and got a wet back too many times. I don't know how much water I've got left. This is a nice little addition to my pack that weighs about 88 grams that I can have the convenience of walking down the trail and just bite and go, or and still see what it is and easy refill and so on and so forth. Let's see, let's go back to the jokes. Let's see. At Chris, pretty sure you were here when I made them. Yeah, you were making something. I think you were actually working on Dan's roll up, because I remember we talking about it down in the shop.
Yeah, you guys were out there. He was making some stuff for you.
Yeah, Pickl beat me to my joke. That's right. Let's see. Really leaning towards the Pacific Northwest for a cottage vendor. You know, I don't know anybody anywhere closer to UG than Todd.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of cottage hammock vendors coming out of the Pacific Northwest that I know of. You know, that's still, even with all those beautiful trees, there's still a lot of tent camping going on out there, mostly because I think everybody likes to get above tree line and get up to those ridges.
Yeah, Todd's website's Parallel 43.
Yeah. I knew where he was going with it probably before he did. Yep. Guilty of that. Y'all, Jenny's been inside my brain for many a year, and she's still with us, and she's actually, she's actually still smiling in her pictures, so there's that. Yeah, Todd's like, I'm out in Boise. I'm not aware of anything in Oregon or Washington. You know, most of the solid hammock vendors are East Coast or Midwest. You know, the only other thing you might have out that way would be, oh heavens. Oh, help me out, y'all. Arrowhead Outfitters might be out that way. So let's see. And that pretty much catches us up on that. So next projects, we got new hammocks. You had mentioned something in a chat about wanting to talk about quilts.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I did. I recorded a podcast with Chris for the Hang Your Own Hang podcast.
Yes, Mr. Duffy.
It's going to be aired, or it's going to go live Monday, I think. But in there, he was asking me a question about the down quilts, and then I got to thinking later that night that it could have came across really bad what I said. So I wanted a chance to kind of correct that. So he was asking me if I was going to ever make any under quilts, if I had any interest in doing that. And I told him that with the down quilts, no, because the people that are making them, they're just beautiful, beautiful quilts, that work really well, and there's really nothing I can add to them to improve it or whatever. And messing with it down and all that kind of stuff, I got no desire to do that. I am interested in making some synthetic quilts that I've made. Me and my wife both have ones with the clue suspension, and I love them things. Them things are perfect. But so, and then I went on and I was telling him that I would never trust my life going out into a remote area with something to keep me warm, that if it got wet, it's useless, And we kind of got off talking about that and everything. And I was not bad mouthing any of the down products or any of the vendors that make the down products. They are excellent. They've got all the advantages of the compressibility, and they keep you warm, and lightweight, all that kind of stuff. They do a really good job. But me personally, I've from my experiences throughout my lifetime, I know no matter how much you try to not let your gear get wet, especially down stuff. You know, you could put it inside a waterproof bag, inside another waterproof bag, you know, and take all these extra precautions. But I mean, I was in the Adirondacks, and we were crossing a log over a small river, handing backpacks off to the next person so we wouldn't fall in.
Mm-hmm.
And the idiot dropped my backpack in the river, and it went floating down the river. You know, I mean, things
Yep.
happen. There's always a chance,
Yep.
you know. And so from my thinking, I don't like down.
Okay.
You know, I was not bad mouthing a thing. Any of the people that make them, and I didn't want somebody to listen to that and think that that was not my intention at all.
Well, I'm a firm believer that we all pack our fears, and whether it's a fear that's in our head or it's a fear that's been in an experience, it's a fear. I am the world's worst person to look out for snakes. Don't ever put me on snake patrol, or we're all going to get bit, because I don't see them. I don't want to see them. I don't care to see them. I'm not a fan of them. John, keep that one in your house behind glass. And I don't see them, because I think my mind just blocks them out, because I'm not a fan of snakes. So, you know, if through your experiences that down has not been a successful source of insulation for you, then I'm not going to fault that. That is a completely valid, 100% valid reason to stay away from them.
Yeah.
And I've got a Clued underquilt in my upstairs right now. That's my house quilt. It's a Costco down throw off the Gemini underquilt DIY from the forums, and absolutely love it. Now, if I knew how to wrangle all that cordage better to where it wasn't such a hassle to get in and out of the pack, there's a good chance I may still be using that suspension, just because it's so infinitely adjustable and is always got me all nice and snuggly.
Yeah, it seals up really well, and I think with the down stuff, because I'm talking about, like, you know, if you're hiking the AT and your gear gets wet and you know, it's cold and everything, if you had to, you could, worst case scenario, hike out into the woods. I mean, hike out back to the car, or to the next town or whatever. But when you're going way out in remote areas, you know, you're there to deal with your gear. And if some freak thing that down gets wet, myself, you know, if it's 10 degrees outside and it's raining and a bear's attacking me, and I guess it's got to be a polar bear if it's 10 degrees, but he rips my tarp off
and it's raining,
yeah, it rips the tarp all the shreds and everything. My down bag gets wet and everything. In my experience, I'm confident enough with my survival skills, I'll just build me a shelter and stay, you know, make it through the night, and then in the morning I'll eat bear for breakfast, you know. But they there's a lot of people that don't have that experience, and then they get in that situation and their gear fails them, and they start panicking. They don't know what to do. They, you know, and I wish people that made videos on hiking, backpacking, camping, you know, everybody goes out, their very first experience, they go get on YouTube, buy the YouTube kit, what everybody says they should have, you know. They have no experience of camping, and when something goes wrong, they don't know what to do. And synthetic's more idiot proof, you know, than down is. So
that I will agree. And it's more affordable.
And I wish people that made Yeah. And I wish people that made the videos would be a little bit more aware of that there's a lot of brand new people that are watching their stuff and watching what they're doing and trying to copy it, but they don't have the experience to, back it up if things go wrong.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm a firm believer that if you are new to hammock camping and the hammock community, please attend a local hang, even if it's just for the day, and ask all the questions that have been building. Take pencil, take paper, write your questions down beforehand so you don't forget them. Call it a college crash course, Hammocks 101, and come on out. That's at least twice we've mentioned the new hammock camper again, folks. Do we need to do another rookie hammock camping podcast and get out all the freshman questions, so to speak, or the newbie questions? If you think so, go ahead and throw a yay or a nay out in the chat, and we'll go from there. But I've been out in 10 degrees, and I've been out in foot and a half of snow. And that weekend I learned that was the weekend that you did not need a campfire to stay warm in the wintertime. We really did not do anything more than lower our tarps to the ground and make sure that they were sealed off with the snow, and melt snow for water, drink whiskey, and eat Mountain House meals all weekend, and kind of hunkered down on our bellies and elbows under all our quilts, and just basically didn't move the entire weekend. But I wasn't ever cold.
yeah.
I was always pleasant and happy, and it taught me that I do not require a campfire when I'm camping. It's a nice ambiance. It's enjoyable to have conversation, but even in the snow in the wintertime, you don't necessarily need it if you're correctly equipped. And we knew it was going to snow. We had planned for it to snow. So, we had the correct equipment for that. Now, if I'm caught out in the elements and need to create a campfire and don't have a whole lot, yeah, Mike Lyle taught me pretty good about getting that taken care of. But everybody here, everybody in that chat has a fear when they're out in the woods, and that's what they pack extra for. If you're scared you're going to be cold at night, you may pack extra quilts. Heavens, I had a hang last weekend or 2 weekends ago. I did the overlanding thing where I drove my Jeep through a river, and I was the 2 previous trips I wasn't cold, but I wasn't exactly warm at night. So that trip, the low was supposed to be 62, 63 degrees. And I took my Jaxar Better Loner 20-degree under quilt. I wasn't going to be cold. Just period. I was not going to be cold. So, that was my fear that weekend. And normally I don't have a fear of being cold in the woods, but that weekend the fear was there. The fear was real. And speaking of which, you guys haven't seen, everybody that knows me, about everybody here follows me on the interwebs. So let's get this up. This is not Barry falling out of the hammock, which we haven't ran that in a while, so maybe we should run that again. Let's go ahead and throw this up. This is the video from not last weekend, but the weekend before, to where on my overlanding trip, The ambulance is Alex and Crystal of Dutchware Gear crossing this river. This river was every bit of 3.5 feet deep. And then the young lady driving this Tacoma actually tore it up. She was a heck of a driver this weekend. The vehicle that's currently swimming behind it is myself and my new Jeep that I still have the 30-day tags on. But no harm, no foul, no water in the Jeep. The family driving the Sprinter Off-Road Revel 2020 van is Don and Jess Gravitz from Jack's Are Better Hammocks and Underquilts. They had gotten that and took it west and coming back. And then this in the Chevy Colorado is Dave Gallagher from Jack's Are Better as well. And then the last two Jeeps bringing up the rear were our support vehicles in case something went stupid and I decided to float down river or something to pick us up. What you didn't see was at the very beginning of the train before Alex was Alicia with Battle Horse Knives and Randall with Appalachian Overland Adventures and Battle Horse Knives, Virginia as well, leading the trip. If you guys are ever looking for a amazing overland trip, please check out Appalachian Overland Adventures out of Covington, Virginia, and Clifton Forge, Virginia. Jenny, it was a Sprinter Revel, Revel, Winnebago. It was a Winnebago Revel on a Sprinter chassis. And it was brand new. So twas a great trip. I really had a good time. Let's see. Well, Dan, how's COVID affected you? How's it been affecting you? Both as a truck driver, as a business owner, as an American?
I've been a rebellious American when it comes to wearing that mask. But so as a driver, I drive dedicated for Polaris. And when the lockdown originally started, they said that nobody's going to be spending the money right now, buying toys and everything. So they expected the freight to really drop off, and we ended up going out on the road hauling regular freight. As a matter of fact, the first place they sent me was New York and New Jersey and everything. I think my boss didn't like me and he's trying to get rid of me. But so shortly after that, well, they were wrong. Everybody ordered Polarises left and right. They were getting their extra stimulus money and all that kind of stuff, and we're still backed up from the lockdown, trying to catch up with all the orders. But at the same time, I posted a video on my social media saying that, hey, look, with everything going on, I'm going to be over the road. I'm not, I'm just going to kind of lay off of making hammocks for the next couple of months until we get this all figured out. And that kind of backfired on me, because as soon as I did that, I've had nonstop orders since then, so it didn't, I guess nobody listened to that part, but so that's been good. So overall, I haven't really been affected. My driving job changed there for a little while. I was gone for 2 or 3 weeks at a time that first month or so. And then things with the job driving we got back to normal. My business with the hammocks actually picked up. I've actually I put a thing on my website that I'm kind of putting a hold on everything for the next couple of weeks so I can get those
Mhm.
prototypes done. And and that's the thing that's rough about driving a truck. I got a half net type hammock to finish. I got 2 other hammocks that I'm taking down to Rockadock to sell. One hammock I gotta do some modifications to, and 3 prototypes to do. My vacation is the end of September, but in driving time, I have 6 days. 6 days to
Yep.
get all that done before I go on vacation.
Yep.
So that's always rough. But yeah, it all works out. And my wife too. My wife, she helps me. She does all the cordage work, making our ridge lines and continuous loops and all that kind of stuff. And she does some of the sewing too. She's got her own business. She's got a wood lathe shop out back, and she's got a business called Beth's Lathe Works, and she makes a lot of bowls and a lot of different things like that.
Oh, cool.
So when she's not busy doing that and I'm kind of swamped, she gives me a hand with that, with the hammocks and stuff too. So yeah.
Very cool. Let's see. Let's check in on the chat. It went RV for a minute. Jenny seeing record sales in RVs and campers.
Yeah, everybody's got that extra money.
Back to the fears. Karen, I'm always afraid I won't have enough socks. I always pack more socks than I can shack a stick at. Okay. I like to shake sticks, but if you're shacking sticks, that's between you and John. Yeah. My fear was clothes when I got started. Not gonna lie. Clothing. Yep.
Yeah.
Middle of summer, I'm bringing puffy jackets and base layers and complete change of clothes, change of pants, change of boxers, change of socks, change of shirts. I'm going out with a clean outfit for every day. And it wasn't until I realized that I'm coming back in the same outfit that I went out with, only changing socks and underwear, that I didn't need that extra pair of pants and I didn't need that extra shirt, and really started to pare things down. So that's where I've got it.
I go with shorts all year round.
All year round, you're one of those guys?
One of those guys.
No, I am jeans in the fall. I'm actually probably jeans and long sleeve shirt all around, all year round. I mean, we hit 90 today, and I've been in my long sleeve Columbia PFG for the entire day. So
now, if I'm going to be out in the heat, I wear long sleeves a lot. If I'm going to be out in the heat, it helps out.
Derek finally showed up. Welcome, sir. Glad to have you. And John's right. Better late than never. Thanks for coming on in. Okay, Karen, straighten up her spelling. The grammar not see would get you. So there were a couple yeses for the rookie hammock camping. So we may do that again. That was a good episode. Find a different rookie to put on the spotlight. See if there's anybody out there. If any of you would like to be a guest on the Hanging with Pickl and Mike show, especially on the rookie line, and don't mind sitting here and me grilling you for questions for 2 hours, touch base with me offline, social media, so on and so forth, and we'll see if we can get something set up. Yeah, Anne-Marie, I traveled pretty extensively in my 20s, and that's how I learned to pack very lightly. I washed clothes in showers and sinks as I traveled. Carry those same principles into my backpacking. So, yeah. Anne-Marie decided to ride across the country in her 20s on a bicycle. I picked that up from the Hang Your Own Hang podcast and thought that was really cool. I keep wanting to get Ann on here, but she keeps telling me no. I think I think it's got to be me. So, let's see. Christy wants me to pick her. G wants to volunteer. Karen wants me to pick Christy. Yeah, Derek, I probably would die in long sleeves and jeans there, but I hate the sun. That's why I'm over here in the Carolinas in the green tunnel, so I don't have to live in the sun. So, y'all can have it out there in Texas. So, all right, Christy, we'll see if we can touch base offline and oh, look, she sent me a green heart. Thanks, Ann. That makes me feel all Twitter pated. And yeah, we'll just have a big old party. G will throw you on, and we'll what are we picking for? I'm doing a rookie session. Jenny, you don't count. To my knowledge, you've never slept in a hammock. But if you want to come along and ask questions, you are more than welcome to sneak out here down here to the house, and we'll just have you in the studio. So, or heck, we could throw you on the podcast as well. All I require is that you have some decent internet, so that the people watching can have good little internets. And Karen's got a good point. We'll have male and female perspective. Dan, what are your insights? What should a rookie hammock camper know that they probably aren't thinking about?
First of all, on doing what you're talking, having somebody in the mix that doesn't have any hammock experience and maybe be able to dispel some of the myths and misperceptions and stuff like that. It might be cool to throw them in the mix.
Okay.
So I get a lot of people that have fears like those nylon tents, they'll protect you from Bigfoot and everything else like that, but if you're camping in a tarp, it doesn't, I mean, if you're camping in a hammock, it provides you no protection from that. But then you show them like a fully like a winter type tarp with doors and all that kind of stuff, and they start changing their mind a little bit, and so there's a lot of misconceptions about what hammock camping's like. And so for somebody new, they got a lot of things. A lot of people won't even give it a try because they just have this idea in their head that, what it is, and sleeping like a banana, and you're out there in the open and everything's going to eat you for breakfast, and just it's not going to be comfortable, and the system weighs too much. Just a lot of misconceptions, and so somebody new getting into it, to be able to talk to somebody and that can dispel all of them, and tell them what it's really like, and it really changed their opinion and maybe entice them to try it,
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly it. Y'all need a mentor. We need to get you all mentors. Yes, Jenny, I'll mentor you. I just need to get you out in the woods or something so we can see if you even can get comfy in a hammock and enjoy it, other than that one time in my backyard in the daylight and in the sun under perfect conditions.
Yeah, Karen mentioned women. That's another thing I get a lot too. And as a matter of fact, I was just watching a video this morning. Somebody was talking about it. A lot of women have this idea that there's no privacy, and if you're in a hammock and everything, and so that's a big turnoff for women that have never tried hammock camping. And it doesn't have to be true. I mean, you set up a tarp and do all that stuff right. There's ways around it.
Yeah, I mean, at the group hangs, yeah, privacy's a little bit more at a premium, but I think most hammock campers are respectful enough that you're not gonna completely change just standing out next to your hammock. In the back country, look, I promise you, I'm hiking with 2 or 3 guys, and if you want to see my bony white caboose, then power to you, rock on. We'll show you my bony white caboose. But other than that, I mean, there's definitely ways to do it. I've changed numerous times inside the hammock, all zipped up, whether out of need, whether out of just it's that morning and it's time to change or whatnot. So it happens. It can happen, and there's definitely options for it. And as Karen said, throw out that winter tarp with doors, and that just adds a little bit more premium on your privacy.
Yeah, and if you got the luxury of car camping, we've gone camping where we weren't going to be too far from the car, and there's going to be a lot of people there. And my wife has brought one of those little pop-up tents that you can stand up in. You just take it out of the bag and it pops up. A perfect place for the women to change clothes and stuff like that. And if you're camping in a situation like that where carrying different things is not going to be an issue, car camping and stuff like that. It's a way around it.
See, my German Shepherd's over here telling me it's time to go to bed. So, yeah, Anne's got a point. Sometimes it's just as much as taking them on for your morning constitutional, and just taking that privacy down that social trail. Sitting in the hammock under your tarp, not going to be exposed unless you're using a Dutch DCF ASIM. That, sir, is a true statement. Only people can get away with using that Dutch DCF ASIM are you Texas boys that don't know what the rain is. Me, on the other hand, the morning fog would soak me more than one of y'all's rainstorms. All right, Christy's over here. I wasn't worried about modesty. Having 6 kids will cure you of that. But warmth, wind protection, tarp with doors for me. I agree with you on that. Another myth is that a tarp with doors will give you heat. That tarp is not going to provide you the slightest bit of heat. What it will, however, do is block you from the elements. It'll block some of that wind that's trying to pull the heat out from under you. That it can do. Let's see. Ladies, let's not turn this into a childbirth conversation. I mean, we've done really good without Mike to keep this train on the rails tonight. Here we go. Okay, well, at least the girls aren't worried about modesty. So, Jenny just agreed with it. Not worried about modesty either. I'll figure things out. Awesome. So,
and if you're camping with anybody that's halfway decent, like friends and stuff like that, if they got any respect for you at all, if you want their privacy, they're going to give you their privacy.
Yeah. I've never thought that having that lack of privacy was ever a thing. It was a left of center concern when I started hammock camping, but once I started meeting the people and getting out into the woods, that thought of, oh gosh, somebody might see me change my clothes, completely just faded into the background. It was never seen from again, because hammock campers are really good about just providing you with the privacy that you need. So
yeah.
Let's see. Well, if you ever need anything tested or reviewed or honest feedback on it, please give us a call. That's kind of what we do. We take gear, we report on things about it. Wanted to throw that out there. Again, we are at the 8:40 clock, so we got about 20 minutes left on this party, and there are still 14 hardy souls that have hung out with us for the duration. Folks, I appreciate that. I can't believe that you guys would want to spend your Thursday night listening to me ramble on about hammocks with Dan, but I appreciate it. I greatly do appreciate it. If you haven't yet, give us a thumbs up on the video. If you're new to this, please go ahead and like Gear Report and give us a follow. And ring that bell for the next time we're on the air. We are usually on the air on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. from 7 to 9 with either a new vendor, a new topic, or some other random shenanigans for the party. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I appreciate the offer about reviewing stuff. It could be really hard to find some decent people to review because there's a lot of people out there. They just want a free piece of gear, you know.
Yeah.
And
yeah, there's
trying to weed through all that.
everybody wants to play with the gear, but nobody wants to sit down and do the 8 hours worth of work either for the video and the video editing or the written portion and the photographs. And yeah, everybody wants to play with the gear. But once I start telling them, okay, well, I need you to write me, 1,000-word essay on this with your pluses and your minuses, and poof, they're gone like last night's storm. So
yeah. And then you want to get some miles put on your gear, and somebody that says they'll be out there using it, do a lot of camping and a lot of this and that, and a year later they've had it one time that they've used it. So it's hard to weed through that.
Yep.
I've taken a few hits from that.
Yep. I've got a couple guys out towards you as well. We've got a rider out. Joe out in Kentucky, and we've got a rider, Andy, out in, I believe he's out in Indiana. So we do have some riders out towards your way as well. So let's see. Plus I got Mike. Who knows where Mike's at? Mike might be hanging out in Oz.
It's possible.
Barry, the reviews are no fun sometimes. Yes, that is correct. Reviewing can be tough. How tough can reviewing be? Gosh, how tough can reviewing be, Barry? That was a review on that tinsel, and we got some pictures of it. That was the Media Blitz tour. I hit the ejection button, and there goes Barry. And yeah, let me just make sure we recorded that. Yes, sir. Shall we run it again? Let's run it again. There we go. There we go. There we go. I mean, I'm gonna get good mileage out of this. If you keep mad at me and keep swearing I'm throwing you out of the tinsel. Oh, yep, there he goes. Keeps knocking me out of the tinsel again. Yeah. We get some mileage out of that one. Yeah, Joe broke your sewing machine, I hear.
Oh, mine?
Yeah. Did Joe break your sewing machine?
Yes, he did. Yeah. My brand new sewing machine. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I gotta say something about Joe. So I did a video recently that because I try to be honest in everything I'm doing, and I did a video recently that I was taking down some hammock straps, and I said, yeah, I really failed on this. I had these straps set up because I was going to make the video for the hammock and everything, and it didn't happen. So I ran into some unrelated issues and I didn't get it done when I was originally going to get it done, and then went back to do it later. And I I I made a half net hammock before,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a standard width, standard length material. So I was making this hammock was 12 foot wide, 12 foot long and wide material, and I didn't think about the same width mosquito netting wouldn't quite work on the bug net.
Right.
Everything was working hanging up in the room, and when I was pulling it out and everything, but when I got it all made and laid in it, because it's attached with cam snaps along the sides,
They start
like
popping.
the one I made before. Well, they didn't pop, but there are big old gaps between each one and everything. So then I didn't have any extra material on hand, and I had to tell him, hey, look, I'm going to have to order some more material. It's going to be, I got to wait for the material to get in and everything. So yeah, whenever I said with that video, when I was talking about that, I failed on that. That was his hammock, and I got the bug net now, and he's going to have it here in a couple days, or probably be Tuesday going out. But
yeah, Joe can wait.
But he was really cool about it. Yeah, he was good about
it.
And
do me a favor. When you send it out to Joe, stick a rock in the box. Let me know what the rock upcharge is. Yeah, put a rock in the box. Let me know what the rock upcharge is, and I will PayPal you the upcharge for the rock.
I can do it. But and that kind of sucks when you're making custom gear. I can't make every possible modification every different way. I can't do that, and in some cases, just like on his hammock, I was having to learn on his time. I paid for all the extra material and all that kind of stuff because if I would have known, I would have ordered it right the first time. And but still, I'm with the custom stuff. A lot of times you are kind of learning on their time.
Yep.
And that's, it doesn't pay very well, because if I charge like that bird cage, if I charge the time it actually takes me to develop something like that, I'd be a rich man.
Bird cage would have cost more than the hammock, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of videos and stuff, well, one thing before I forget about it, we just recently got a new logo made. I'm really liking our new logo, and doing a lot of other stuff to make everything more professional and upgrading a lot of stuff. But on the videos, I've made 2 videos recently sewing zipper to a single layer hammock. And I talk in both the videos, I've talked about how I put a second layer of stitches down along the zipper tape to the and a lot of companies don't. They'll just put one on there. That's another thing I want to clarify. I am not talking crap about anybody and the way they do it. I have a tendency with everything I do to over engineer it, and to make it Tonka tough and all that kind of crap.
Right.
Doing one roll of stitches could last you 99 years, no issues or nothing like that. I all I'm doing is saying, all these other people make really great gear. If you kind of think along the same lines as I do, wanting everything over engineered and all that kind of crap, and that's important to you, well, this is the way we make them.
Okay.
But I haven't posted that stuff to downgrade anybody else's material, the way they do it. So that's something I was hoping to clarify too.
Derek's got a 3-pound rock sent by a certain someone he can borrow. Yeah, there's a subset of ultralight hammock campers that like to talk vendors into shipping rocks with their ultralight gear to their buddies.
Yeah.
Not gonna name names, but they're out hiking the Tahoe Rim Trail. Just saying. And you know, some of them are out in Maroon Bells right now, or just got outside of Maroon Bells. So, but yeah, we're coming down to the end of the show, folks. Anybody got any questions for Dan while we still have him, before we let him get back on the highway or take a nap or grab a bite to eat or whatever he's doing out there in northern Illinois? Wink, wink, nod, nod.
It's not sunny anymore.
You're still got more daylight than I got.
Yeah, I could go out there and read a book.
Yeah, I'm still getting. Looks like I've still got some weather coming in. Hey Jenny, is it out raining by you?
If in the meantime, while you're waiting to see if there's any questions, if there are, interrupt me. But one thing I want to say before I get off here is we started the business being with the intention of being debt free and staying debt free. I'm a real debt. It's a bad thing. Being you start accruing debt, and you're a slave to that dollar bill, and you gotta, you're working 99% of your life for that little piece of paper and for that debt collector and all that kind of stuff. So we started the business, and our plan is to stay debt free all along. It's taken it, and I've known it's going to take a lot longer to progress throughout the things. Every penny I make has been going back into it, and but we're working a lot. We're working on a lot of things behind the scenes. And I've had to learn everything, like building a website. I didn't know what SEO was. I didn't know all this other kind of crap. And so all the time as I'm building, as I'm making money to try to put into back into the business, I'm learning, I'm researching, I'm doing all this kind of stuff. And at some point, people are going to look around and say, "Wow, where'd they come from?" I didn't even know they were out there. It's going to be like we popped up overnight. But we're doing a lot of things. If I'm not hanging onto the steering wheel or hanging onto a sewing machine, I'm researching. The marketing and advertising and different all kinds of crap. But so my point of that is, if you have your favorite vendors, for anybody that's listening to this, if you have your favorite vendors and you're die hard, that's where you're going to buy your product. That's great. As long as you're getting the gear you want and you're out there camping, I am happy. But even if that's the case, if you have no desire to ever buy anything from us, just follow us along over the next year or two and see, just supporting another human being that's trying to break out from the mold of being a slave to debt and doing things a different way, showing you can have something without, there's a different way to do things. So,
let's see.
And I'll be honest along the way too.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and I'll be honest. Yeah, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to get knocked on our butts, and I'll be honest about the whole process.
That's the only way. If 2020's taught any of us anything this year, it's that we can all be knocked on our butts at a moment's notice. Let's see. Todd wanted to say that you have the second coolest beard he's ever seen. That just wanted to say, Dan has the second coolest beard.
First?
Yeah, Todd's got a pretty epic beard as well. And Christy agrees that they're both rocking the beards. Mine's still in short summertime phase. John wants to know, you said a vacation at the end of September. Will you be able to make the hang? John's out there always
I'm
pimping
still
his
working on that. I'm
trailheads
trying to
hang.
clarify about. Oh, you're cutting
Say that
out
again.
bad.
Yeah, you cut out on me.
Yeah. So John's hang. I'm still working on the detail. My vacation starts that Monday, and I'm taking days on the other end of my vacation, taking additional days off, and trying to get some days off. My vacation starts at Monday. Trying to get that Friday off to be able to go to John's hang. I'm still working on trying to work that out.
Awesome.
Yeah. So right now it's still up in the air.
Let's see. John also commented at Dan, be ready because it happens quick and hits hard. I think John and Karen have experienced that this year, where when you hit that hot button, or you get that piece of gear that everybody's gonna want, and you have that winning hot piece of gear, yeah, that freight train will hit, and it will hit hard.
Yeah. I've seen it happen with people, and hopefully I'm ready for it.
So yeah, again, the Trailheads hang, which is going to most likely be the next hang that I attend, will be the last weekend of this month, the 24th through the 27th. So you're looking at exactly 3 weeks, 21 days from tonight. We may have a show that night from the location. I know John and Karen have pretty good cell phone signal up there. We may have it, we may not have it. Haven't quite decided that yet. We will be having a rookie newbie hammock hanger question session. We may do that next week, depending if I can get Jennifer G and Christy all together. That's gonna be a lot of squirreling to keep on the rails, and with Mike, oh Lord. Yeah, so that's gonna be tough. We're coming down to the end of the show. I guess this is as good a place as any to wrap it up. Dan, I want to personally thank you for coming on the show tonight, and joining us in this journey we call 2020. It should be quite interesting and such. I'm going to kick you off down to the green room. Go ahead and hang on for a couple minutes while I wrap up with everybody else,
Okay.
and I'll be back with you. Folks, thanks for joining us. Thanks for hanging out for the 2 hours and listening to me ramble on about everything in the hammock community. You know, at this point, check on your friends, check on your enemies, check on the happy ones and sad ones, check on the huggers because they're not touching anybody. You know, normally the loners and those antisocial hammock campers are usually the best ones off because they'll just go out in the woods, hang out in a hammock. Check on them as well. Say hi to people. Have a little bit of love in your heart. Have a little bit of patience in your heart because we're all going out of our minds in our own little way. So until next week, from the Hanging with Pickl and Mike show, I'm Pickl, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Good night, y'all.